on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. Today I'm making a very quick corrective video for my last video that I had put out on Monday, and I got something wrong in that video. So for the 60 or so people that did actually watch that video, and for those of you that are potentially interested in a fantasy draft at all within Madden 24, there is a change to franchise mode that allows you to have a different draft type in franchise mode. Now, whether this be due to a Mandela effect, which is absolutely crazy that I thought it was one way and it actually wasn't when I actually do fantasy drafts every single year. I don't know if I just had gotten similar picks that it didn't look like a snake draft, but the change is not that there is a snake draft now available within fantasy drafts. That's in fact the way it has been. It's that you can now do a standard draft method within franchise mode. So there's a different application for that, but whenever you start up a franchise like I'm doing now, and you go to your starting point and create a fantasy draft and then go to your league settings, you can now switch a setting under your commissioner tools that will allow a different draft type. So scrolling down here quickly to commissioner settings, we can then see that there is a fantasy draft order that you can select from. And as it says here in the top right, if you set the standard order, each round of the fantasy draft will have the same order. If you set a snake draft order, the order will be reversed every round like it is in fantasy football. So it turns out that the way that it has been is a snake draft. Now, the reason that I'm making this video is because I thought that the snake draft was the new function, even though I've done fantasy drafts in the past, so I'll admit that I'm wrong, but I still feel like it's some type of Mandela effect that I thought that it was standard in prior years. Now you have the option of standard, and why it's important is if you go to do a fantasy draft now, it sets it automatically to standard, which is what most people are probably not going to want to do in fantasy drafts, especially if you're playing with other people, because a snake draft is going to balance it out the most. So if you're pick 32, you also get pick 1 in the next round, which is going to make it much more balanced, because if you have pick 32, you're missing out on a lot of the top end players in the draft, but getting two very good players back to back can help balance that out. However, I did want to also note that there is an advantage to doing a standard draft, especially if you are doing an individual fantasy draft. If you're the only person in the league, what you might want to do is click on a standard draft, which is going to give you the same draft pick order in every single round, and keep restarting or starting a new draft until you figure out that you have like a top 5 pick, for example. And once you have done that, you will then have that top 5 pick in every single round. So that's the advantage to a standard draft order. If you select standard draft order and you get into a franchise, you can potentially give yourself a top 5 pick or a top end pick in every single round of the fantasy draft, which can help you have a significantly better team. So that's the advantage to adding standard. It's interesting that even EA has kind of played it off like the snake draft is the new feature within Madden 24, because I actually did some more research on it, went back to prior games and took a look at their announcement for it, and they kind of made it seem like they added the snake draft feature, when in reality that's not the case. It's always been a snake draft, and they've now added the standard draft feature, just like a traditional NFL draft would be. I don't know. I got it wrong whenever I first made the video. Luckily, only like 60 people saw it. Hopefully, those same people will view this video and appreciate the correction. Nonetheless, let me know in the comment section, did you know that fantasy drafts were a snake draft order? Did you know that they added the differentiation between the two draft orders? And why have they not allowed us to just set the draft order ourselves? Why can't I give myself the first round pick? Why can't I make it so that everybody that's in my fantasy draft gets a decent draft pick and it's not luck of the draw? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. As always, I'll see you in the next video, and I hope you have a good one.